Before we get started, I just wanted to say a few things. First of all, this is surreal for me. I'm not going to lie. Growing up in the dusty streets of South Africa, I never dreamed that I would one day have, well, two things, really. An indoor toilet and a job as host of The Daily Show. And now I have both. And I'm quite comfortable with one of them. So, you know, but the truth is, now I'm in the chair, and I can only assume that this is as strange for you as it is for me. You know, Jon Stewart was more than just a late-night host. He was often our voice, our refuge, and in many ways, our political dad. And it's weird, because Dad has left. And now it feels like the family has a new stepdad. And he's black. Which is not ideal. I also know that many people have questions. For example, why isn't a woman hosting the show? Because surely it's about time. Well, it turns out that Comedy Central did ask women to host, and the woman they asked turned the job down because they all had better things to do and clearly knew something I didn't. Also, why didn't they get an American to host? And again, Comedy Central tried, and those people also declined. And so once more, a job Americans rejected is now being done by an immigrant. And you know, many people are part of the reason that I'm sitting here today. But above all, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge one man, and that's Jon Stewart. Thank you, Jon. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. I'm not quite sure what you saw in me, but I'll work hard every day to find it. And I'll make you not look like the crazy old dude who left his inheritance to some random kid from Africa. And to you, the Daily Show viewer, both new and old, at home or on your phone, thank you for joining us as we continue the war on bullshit. Now, seeing as this is my first show, we wanted to start it off with something a little light. So here we go, Syria. Just kidding, it's the Pope, yeah!
Pope Francis captivates the Capitol.
Or more than 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden.
80,000 at Central Park.
1 million people in Philadelphia.
Like a rock star was arriving.
Pope Mania.
Popapalooza.
Popechella. Pope by Southwest. The World Series of Poper. And what do you give to the Pope that has everything?
There have been a number of new emojis created to commemorate this trip, including one of the Pope kissing a baby and another one of him eating a sub. I'm assuming it's a Philly cheesesteak.
Finally, Pope-mojis for when you want to inject just the right amount of confusion into your late-night sexting. Sup, girl? You up? Because eggplant, winky face, cartoon Pope likes cheesesteaks. Good luck figuring that one out. But in quieter moments, His Holiness wanted to talk politics.
Climate change is a problem. Protect the vulnerable in our world. As the son of an immigrant family, I'm happy to be a guest in this country, which was largely built by such families.
Yeah, hates inequality and climate change, loves immigrants. He's like a young Bernie Sanders. And from the moment he arrived, Francis showed that he rolls humble.
After being greeted by the president, the vice president, and an adoring crowd at Andrews Air Force Base, he was whisked away in a tiny Fiat, dwarfed by the Secret Service vehicles surrounding him.
Oh, that's a tiny car. Somebody's undercompensating. I'm saying the Pope is a huge That was the joke. I'm saying... That's the joke. And what a waste. But how much could the Pope really do in one weekend? Would he have a really lasting effect on America? Well, the truth is, he did.
The Beltway bombshell. House Speaker John Boehner abruptly resigning from Congress.
The move comes a day after Boehner, a devout Catholic, welcomed the Pope to the U.S. Capitol.
No! Why leave now? I just got here. I got a fancy suit and a new set, and I learned how to pronounce your name. Boehner. Now, I know this wasn't the biggest news of the weekend. I mean, there was huge news out there. Blood red moon, the tragic Fetty Wap accident, hashtag pray for Fetty. And of course, the Mets made the playoffs. Yeah. I don't know what that is, but John told me it would work. Now, to understand why Boehner leaving is such a big deal, you have to understand what a big deal Boehner was.
The Speaker controls the floor of the House, and you can't bring anything up without really his say-so.
That's right. You cannot make a law in America without the Speaker's approval. John Boehner has final say about which laws come in and which laws don't. He's basically the bouncer at Club Congress. Yeah, which is probably the worst club ever. I mean, yeah, first of all, there's hardly any woman in the club. There's always a bunch of old guys talking about laying pipe. Oh, and everyone at the club has AIDS. That's, AIDS, the people that help you, you are it's too late. To lose a speaker as effective as Boehner must have been crushing for the Republicans. I mean, he helped enact budget cuts that, for the first time in decades, decreased federal spending for 2 years in a row. He made most of the Bush tax cuts permanent, and he deported Taco Tuesdays from the cafeteria menu. You know who had a tough job? Republican candidate Marco Rubio, who had to break the bad news to a room of conservatives.
Just a few minutes ago, Speaker Boehner announced that he will be resigning.
Oh, okay, that did not go how I thought. And just by the way, that right there, that is the face of a man who's not used to getting applause. Look at him. Look at his face. He's like, what are you doing with your hands? What is going on? Well, let me explain to you, Rubio. No, they have not made you popular overnight. That was last weekend's Value Voter Summit, a gathering of some of the radical conservatives who shut down the government over Obamacare in 2013, and the same people who wanted to shut it down again over Planned Parenthood this very week. And for Boehner, this was the last straw.
Throughout his nearly 5-year tenure, he struggled with a fractured and more conservative Republican caucus.
Boehner has clashed with unruly hardline conservatives who felt he was too willing to compromise.
What they meant is at all willing to compromise. You see, for this faction, even John Boehner, the man once ranked the 8th most conservative man in Congress, wasn't right-wing enough. It's like crack telling meth that it's not addictive enough. Yo, man, you gotta step your game up, Crystal. You make teeth fall out, big deal. I took down Whitney Houston. Too soon? So the radicals finally got what they wanted, John Boehner's very tan head on a plate. And now that the turmoil is all over, what is the result?
Turmoil is going to get a lot worse.
An even worse climate. More and not less confrontational.
The next speaker is going to face the same problems that Boehner did.
The same problems that include a hair trigger set of tear ducts that go off anytime a child picks a flower. For more on this, we go to senior congressional correspondent Jordan Klepper, everyone.
Hello, Trevor.
Jordan, what's next for the outgoing speaker?
Now look, a man like Boehner is going to have a lot of options. Word on the Hill is he's thinking of becoming a professional onion slicer. Though, obviously, he'd be great as a seat filler at a funeral or Claire Danes impersonator.
And I guess more importantly, Jordan, what are you hearing about who will replace Boehner? I mean, wow, those are big shoes to fill.
Oh, well, I'm sure they'll find someone extremely qualified.
Yeah, Jordan, but this is John Boehner. I mean, whoever takes that job will probably fall flat on their face in front of the entire nation.
Yeah, I get how you're feeling. You know, taking over for John Boehner is hard. You know, it doesn't have to be a disaster.
I don't know about that, Jordan. I can already hear everyone saying the thing. John, please come back. Please
Okay,
come back.
well, yeah, sure, yes. Okay, yes, everyone's feeling nostalgia for the old leader, but maybe the new guy will surprise us and just crush it, you know? I feel like he's gonna kill it. I bet he'll bring a new, like, global perspective to things.
I'm sorry, global? What are you talking about?
I just keep hearing global. I don't know what it means, global. I hear viral and youth. I mean, everything's just so new. I mean, the desk is different. There's a new font. I mean, nobody asked me.
Okay, Jordan.
I only hope the new Speaker of the House knows that certain people are depending on him. You know? I just bought a condo.
Okay.
Why'd I buy a condo?
Jordan.
Why'd I buy a condo?
Jordan, I get it. Calm down. Calm down, Jordan. I see what's happening. You are really intensely passionate about politics. I get it.
Damn it, he's a f***ing idiot. Shit. Honey, you're gonna have to sell that condo.